All right. Look at us. CRL chart request live, back in action after a week-long hiatus. Spencer, Steve, with you today. Straza, how are we doing?
Great, man. Missed everybody last week.
I agree. We loved hanging out with each other in person, but we missed doing the show. We missed all you guys in the chat, so we're glad to be back. Thank you, Mark. It was good. It was good to be back. So Patrick is still traveling. Pat's out in where is he? Sri Lanka this week.
Sri Lanka.
So you're
Yes.
stuck with me, which is fine. But you still got Steve, and that's what matters. We have Steve's charts, and we have your requests. So without further ado, let's get started. You know the drill by now. If you have a request, you can email us questions at stockmarketmedia.com or drop your request in the chat. Steve, you specifically wanted to start with hymns, which is what Sambo dropped in the chat. So let's just start with hymns.
This
Him
one,
and hers. This is the
yeah.
actually I don't even know what this is.
People go and they get like erectile dysfunction drugs and
Oh, okay. But what's
SSRIs.
the hers part of the equation? I don't know.
So the way I understand it is there's a hims and a hers.
Oh,
So they,
that
they
makes
have
sense.
boy and girl drugs here.
Got it.
But a lot of people are using this. It's getting pretty popular. They announced last week. So this candle right here, we're up like 28%
Yeah, what's
last
that?
last Monday. This was. Um, they announced that they're going to be selling the GLP-1s on there.
Whoa.
So, you don't have to go to a doctor. I believe you can just do it online for the most part and get the same drugs, Wegovy and what's the other one? Wegovy,
Mongiorno?
Mounjaro, and then
Monjaro?
Ozempic also.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think that's big business, right? Anybody who touches this space right now is doing really well. Hims is crazy from a valuation standpoint. I took a quick look today, but there is a lot of growth there. There's a decent short interest as well, so I think it's really squeezing here this week. I would draw this one more or less like this. The base was completed a while ago, right? And we have some pivot levels that we could have used to navigate as we're climbing the right-hand side of this base. But this one's really on its way. And the next stop at this point is these former all-time highs, just north of 25. I'm surprised no comment from Spencer about hating backs.
I was gonna say it.
Yeah, okay.
I was gonna say it. This was a SPAC. That's why you can see a lot of price memory there at $10, right? But so what's the all-time high? 27, 26,
25-ish.
25?
25, yeah.
Yeah.
So the point here is the base is pretty much in, right? We had a little base on base action, shook back into the range, but that's over now, right? Trend is up. The question becomes, where do we get in? I've had an order out around 18 and change for this one all day. It's not coming back. The squeeze is on. You never want to chase stuff, but you do want to get into these names while the momentum is coming into them, right? So it could be tricky. Let's outline how we work this out tactically here. We have a pivot high from March. That's a big level. We gap back above it today. So let's call that 17. 17 is a level of interest. And then here, I would just simply use the closing highs. The closing highs match up nicely with the intraday highs from last Tuesday. Draw that out right here. 1870. That's it, right? So we got 17 to the downside. 1870, we're just about there. Target 25. I love the momentum in this name right now. I love the price action. Hank Greenberg came out with a negative report, short report, as they like to call them, on this name today, and it's screaming up 12% in the face of that. You got to love it when they throw bad news at something and can't knock it down. Instead, this one's rallying on the heels of a negative or a bearish report. So I really like the price action here. I'm very interested. Maybe I'll get filled today, maybe not.
And not many SPACs that are in this kind of company where they are in clear short-term uptrends, right? A lot of them still in huge 70, 80, 90% drawdown, right? HIMS is not. So,
And this one looks different from peers like Teladoc too, right?
oh, yeah.
So
Wow.
there's something going on here. Maybe it's just a bull market for blue chews. I don't know, but this chart looks great.
Okay, let's go to the email. We got a few requests in the inbox. We'll start with David, who asked us about Lulu or Ulta, but really philosophically, he's asking about catching a falling knife or waiting.
You want some sort of strength, stuff like this. You know, Lulu, not here, right? Because this thing does not look like it's finished going down at all. You do have some levels of interest that are really coming into play on this Lulu chart, though. This reminds me of one of those that we're going to look back at and say, you really think Lulu is going to be printing some massive multi-year top in the middle of a bull market? Right, so I'm going to draw it like this with a green arc for now.
Whoa.
You like that?
I don't know.
We'll find out. And then you got some price memory down here in the, I don't know, 260 all the way up to current price, 290 range. 260, 290. I think you can start to dabble. Long-term investors looking to build a long-term position, right? That makes sense. But really, if you're looking to trade something like this, you want it on strength, right? Anything tactical, let it start going up first. Now, you don't have to pick the bottom. If you're looking for a long-term position, though, you want to start scaling in, I think this is a good range. But then you're betting on this not being a top, so you got to keep things tight. And you're managing risk at 260. And anything below there, you're out, right? You can't be in it, because then the downside risk gets pretty real if this is a top.
Steve, how would you define long-term?
A year plus.
Okay.
A year out. And the other one was Ulta.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same idea.
Yep, same situation here. I don't think you're wrong to be looking at these if you are a long-term investor, right? I think these are charts that warrant our attention, right? Because Ulta is a secular leader. This has been a great stock for my whole career. Now all of a sudden you have, 2 years of nothing, back to a pretty well-tested level, right? We got the 2019 highs here, a shelf of lows here, 360-ish. Again, start building a long-term position, something like Ulta here. But if this breaks and this chart starts looking more like this, right? And we're down here, you can't own it, right? Because not only is the risk to the downside, but if you revisit something like the COVID lows, you're looking at a massive drawdown, right? So too much risk if these tops complete. So we do have levels, but for something short term, no, you want to enter on some short term strength. And you're not getting that from either of these. Another one that stood out to me along these lines, Spencer, that I'll probably sell puts in today is Nike, right? This is that same theme. Is Nike really going to complete some sort of massive top, right, in the middle of a bull market? So I'll probably be selling puts with like a 88.50 strike here, right? Just betting that these pivot lows won't break ahead of earnings. So I think you can do, you can do, I think that strategy makes a lot of sense with these potential tops, that we are making the bet that they fail. You sell puts against support, and you keep it real tight.
All right. Back to the list we go. Let's look at for Dan, NATL. This is NCR Atleos Group. This is a banking fintech.
What did you say? MATL?
N as a Nancy. National, like NATL. This is a fintech company in, what are they? They're Middle East, looks like.
Yeah, what is this? 2 billion. Digital payments. Sounds like an online bank.
Well, if you Google it, well, it says people also ask, is NCR a real company? That's good.
Yeah, not sure what's going on here, but we got a chart. See what price is telling us. So this one came public, it looks like, last fall, Spencer?
Yep.
Yeah, you just fib out this base all day. Boom. You got something real high and tight here that I like a lot. This is the best pattern, right? When the primary trend is higher, you want to catch these short-term continuations. You buy the resolution. I think you get confirmation here at new all-time highs. 28.29, not even 28.50, right? You get the flag breakout, and then you would want to, at this point, measure the flagpole, because this isn't going to give you enough reward at the 161, right? So if we measure out this flagpole, boy, you're going to get a move here. I would measure the pole from the May lows. So you would be tacking on about 9 points of upside.
That's nice.
That's going to put you...
Oh.
It's going to put you just north of the 261. So about 37.50. 36, 37.50. I like that for a target range. Point is, this has been a strong stock, really, for a couple months now. And it held up pretty well last year, too. New all-time highs, a lot to like.
All right, Lyft for Ivan.
I'm okay with it. I mean, it's fine. It's...
I know, it's not the leader.
Class, that's for sure. But look, with Lyft, you want to let it get into this pocket. Get rid of that. We have a sweet memory gap here. And if we're in there and we start filling this gap, fine. I think it's great. It's a lovely looking chart. Until then, this is opportunity cost. Likely to remain messy, right? As long as this little base has not broken out, and I think you get that breakout north of 20, maybe confirmation around 22 here, right? We want, very simply, we want to be in this space right here, right? That's where we want Lyft to be. And I think it does make a nice move, right, up into the 30s or 40s. But for now, this is just starting to look like a little short-term top within the context of a sideways trend. Not great. Not even the kind of tops you really want to bet on failing, right? I would argue the primary trend here is still sideways. So Lyft below 1550, no way. Can't own it. I'd be looking for further downside to at least 12. And then Lyft above this 21-22 range, yeah, I think you own it all day, and you'll be looking at an easy 50% move back up to 30 and change.
Big if, though. Like, you almost want to see it prove itself first.
Get into that pocket, right? Because price tends to act like a vacuum once you get into these, volume pockets or memory gap zones. So if you get a magnet back up to the upper bounds of this gap at 30, that could be a sweet move. If we're not above 21, 22, though, I think this just continues to chop, and it's probably pretty messy. A lot more sideways from here.
All right. Mark has an idea in ASML, the Dutch master. He's thinking of getting in above 950 with a target of 1200. I should note that this email came in over a week ago now, so
which mark is this?
Lots happened since then, but
yeah. Is this one of our marks?
Yeah.
I like it. Well, that's how I know, right?
Yeah.
I can tell when people are listening. So this is great. We love ASML. We love the Dutch master. These guys are just intricately involved in what's going on with AI. Similar to Taiwan Semi, these guys actually help manufacture a lot of the chips and equipment for the other chip makers for semiconductor companies. As long as we're above the prior cycle highs, we love it. So that's at 880. Then I'm going to try to figure out why he's coming in with 950. I have a idea it might have something to do with the VWAP from the pivot.
Can I tell you? Yeah.
The VWAP from the pivot highs. How did I know? This is
That's
great,
it.
Mark.
You're good.
Mark, I wouldn't do it any differently myself. Yep. You're in as long as we're above 950. I love that. Yeah, actually, let's draw it this way because you got some action here. This is 950, right? So we got some pivot lows here from Q1, some pivot highs here from May. Now we're back above it. I think it's only a matter of time before we're at those all-time highs. You want to stop yourself out at 950. If you have a longer time frame, you want to let them dance, you want to stop yourself out at 880. That's great too. And then I'd be looking at either measuring this base out for a target. If you measure the base out, it's going to put you around 450, about 1300. And if you use the fib, it's going to put you around 1200. So that's your range to the upside and the downside. Love it, Mark.
Nice setup. Okay. Hansen is looking at the Descartes Systems Group. DSGX. There you go.
I was looking at this one earlier. Look, they all look the same. These semis. It's good. It's a good looking chart. Good looking. Great call, Gene. Gene behind the scenes, reminding me I have no
voice of God.
There we go. Thanks.
How's that, Nils? All right.
Here we go. Check this out. DSGX kind of left the station already. This one I would have wanted to be getting involved about 10% ago, 90, 91-ish, right? But let's just draw out what a nice base we have here. Bang, bang. Go. See where the fibs come in. We're going to be in the middle of the range here, right? This one's kind of in no man's land for now, right? Because why do I say that? You're risking 8 points to the downside, right? If you're stopping out at the breakout level, which is the November 2021 high, you're stopping yourself at 91, you're risking 8 points to the downside. And if we're right here, we're taking profits at 112. So we're only getting about 12 points to the upside. That's not a risk reward that we ever want, right? So this one, you kind of want to dance here. It is in no man's land. Either weakness back towards 91. I think you could even keep it tighter here, right? And say something like, hey, weakness back towards 94 is a pretty well-tested level, tactically speaking, right? But let it either pull back or let it just keep running, and maybe we get something high and tight up here eventually that we can enter on. But you got nothing of the sort just quite yet. So I like it. I like it.
It's not here.
Time frames. The primary trend is certainly up, but tactically, this one's a little bit hard to get involved in right here, I think.
All right.
So momentum's probably open. Yeah. I don't love this either, Spencer. Check this out. Right. You don't want to run away when you see this, but that kind of waning momentum. The chart looks great. The price chart looks great. Then when you look, okay, momentum's making lower highs now for, God, 6 months.
Yeah, but not by a lot.
No,
it's still almost overbought.
I'll give you something. When you're making new all-time highs like this, sure, we see these momentum divergences last for a long time and sometimes never even matter, right? Sometimes never even confirm. I start to get concerned when we're not even getting overbought anymore. This, to me, is not an overbought reading. Maybe it was like just
it's close. It's close, right?
You want it to at least get overbought. The divergences to me start to matter a lot more when we're not hitting those extremes. Let me give you an example here, right? Let's go back, use this same chart. Okay, let's go back to the fall lows, right? Price making incremental lows here, right? Not only if you look at the momentum in the lower pane, not only is momentum diverging positively, right? But then at that last low here, which some might have drawn this as a breakdown, right? And wanting to get short here. Oh, what a beautiful bear trap this was, Spencer. God, look at this. Look at how nicely they trapped the bears here. And what a great signal this was, right? You got the bullish momentum divergence, but not only that, it's one that we want to pay extra close attention to, because on those new lows, new multi-month lows, maybe even new 52-week lows here, not quite, but close. It didn't even get oversold, right? And then look at the move we had off of those lows. That's a confirmed momentum divergence. That's nice.
All right.
Does that happen here? I don't know. But boy, with new all-time highs, a chart that looks this good from a price perspective, you want to see a little more than that from momentum. So again, you don't run from this when you see it, but this is certainly reason for caution.
All right. What about what is? Oh, okay. Do you get Hong Kong quotes?
I think so. I should. Yeah.
All right. If I got a number here from Wavy. You ready for this?
Give it to me.
All right, 0883. Not Hong Kong, HK. I don't know if you.
It's in Korea.
No, it's CNOOC Limited, CNOOC. I don't know if wait, come on now. This is crazy. No. All right.
How do you spell it?
CNOOC. Oh, there it is.
There it is. Again, like we just talked about, you will see this, particularly during rally phases, right? Don't love it. Love to see an overbought reading here. So this is in Hong Kong dollar. It's going to be a massive base if I know wavy. So let's zoom out. Yeah, it's really good. Look at this. Weekly momentum looks a lot better. Yeah, this is a great looking chart. Now, problem with this one, wavy, and everybody listening, it's a great lesson. Probably gonna have to be long Hong Kong dollars to own this, right? That's the big problem with this one. It's not the price chart. Price chart looks great. So you're gonna have to own Hong Kong dollars to be in this, right? So what does that mean? Spencer?
Oh, that wasn't rhetorical?
You have two things driving your performance on this trade or investment, right? It's not just gonna be the price of the security, but you're gonna have to translate back to US dollars at the end of the day. And how much did you lose there, right? So you have to think of two things when you're trading in your non-local currency. So here, do you want to get long HKD against USD? Well, this is your Hong Kong dollar. Boy, is this gross.
Ooh.
Right? I don't know. That's a tough one. The base looks great though, Wavy. I see what you see there for sure. Let me just give them a level quick. We measure the base out. Where are we going? Measured move gets you about like 14 bucks onto the breakout level. So measured move is going to get you like 35. And then the first fib puts you around 30. It's a great chart. Nice base. I won't be trading it. No HKD for me.
Yeah. All right. Let's do a couple from the chat and we'll hop out of here. Matthew Burns looking at the XSD, the S&P Spider Semi ETF. He just trimmed a little bit. I was wondering if it's a mistake. Well, we can't tell you what you should do. I can only tell you what the chart says.
Yeah, it's hard to say, right? You're trimming at a logical level. So I see why you trimmed. Overhead supply. Sometimes charts like this come up and test prior cycle highs, and they got to knock on the door a few times, right, before they break through. So there's your prior cycle highs. Now we're back there, right? Some charts you'll see a couple tests, right? And then we finally go. Are they just going to barge right through? I don't know. It's hard to say, but this is a level to either get long or short. How do you like that, Spencer?
That's, well, it's either going to go up or down or sideways.
Or I should say get long or take profits, rather.
Yeah.
So 250 is the big one. Once we take that level out decisively, all-time highs, risk is clearly higher. Primary trend very much intact. This is a group that we love to own, one of the cycle leaders. So I like it a lot. I think if we do get rejected here and you're looking to build a long-term position in XSD and we get a little something like this, you could buy back at these pivot highs from last year. 235, 232.
All right. What about Robinhood?
Yep. Look, I still think Coinbase is the trade. But Robinhood looks great. Yeah, I'm not even going to remark this. This is the weekly, right? So the base is there. You have your VWAP coming in. Actually acted as support just back earlier this month and April. VWAP comes in right around 16 and change. Then you got the pivot high right here, which would be your ultimate confirmation, right? So if we're above that pivot high, call it 2050, even 20 on a closing basis. Yeah, who knows how high this one goes. You measure the base out, you're going to get 713. So tack 6 points on. You already got the measured move from the base. So let's see what the fib retracements give us. There are some levels, right? You could do this in a number of different ways. I always get the question, do I measure it from Spindle high? Closing high? How do I do this? Really no right answer. So you could do it this way.
Yeah, that's what I. Closing high is probably what I would do.
Look at the way they layer onto each other.
Well,
37,
same thing.
7 stands out. Pretty natural level.
All right, cool. Here's a good one from Donovan. He's looking at SPY UUP
Now,
overlaid with SPY. Am I thinking too hard? Or do you see something here?
yes, DM me. No, it doesn't. SPY's denominated in dollars already. Right? I don't know. DM me. Let me know what you're trying to do there. That's. I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
All right, fair enough. Let's do one or two more, then we'll hop out. Steel Dynamics?
Yeah, I like that. I mean, let's just zoom out on this, Spencer. Look at this thing. Oh, so good. So good. Base is in. It's been in. All right, so the more you zoom out on this one, better it looks. Let's do something tactical here. Because we do have a level right here. We're nestled up against right now. This is how you would play this one. So again, secular leader, long-term trend, so nice. Pivot highs early last year. That's it. Let's scoop and score above there. Scoop and score. Love it for a trade back to the pivot highs, right? Which is, that's not bad, right? 135 on strength, target of 150. Okay, that probably happens real quick. Then looking for something longer term. Fib this out. It's going to get you to 165. All right, so we're coiling a little bit right here, Spencer. You see this? I think you drop the WAP here. It's going to come in right around this level. Yep. There you go. 137.50 confirmation. You're really right there. I like how close the year-to-date VWAP is to the breakout level at the pivot or the 2023 highs. So 136 to 137 quarter is your range, and we got a couple of targets to the upside.
One more. You want to look at the dog with hat for Aria Crypto? No, WIF. Sorry, with. Already marked up. Look at you. Look at you.
Come on, Spencer. All right, I would draw this one like this now. It's not going to be a top. Not a top. Nice coil, though.
Didn't see that one coming.
You didn't think I would have this marked up?
No.
What do you think I'm doing over here all day? Look, this one has had, boy, great time right out the gates here. So this is a new one. This is one of these crazy new meme tokens. Built a little base here, worked higher, and we've been coiling. We've been sideways since March, really. We dropped the VWAP here. We've already recaptured. So, oops, what's going on here? Do I not have volume on these guys? VWAP's not working right now. Look, we would be above it if the VWAP was here. And we also have this little shelf of pivot highs. Like this, draw right through. There, I think this is it. I think 365 could be used for confirmation, how I have it drawn here. I think you already got a coil resolution. And then I think ultimate confirmation is at the new all-time high. So a couple different ways to trade this one or play this one. But I think the more important point about dog with hat is that this is one of the leaders in crypto. So here it is relative to Bitcoin.
Ooh, yeah.
It's not easy to outperform Bitcoin these days, right? And here's what Dog with Hat has done since it ICO'd, I guess, last December, right? So the absolute price chart looks just like the relative price chart. So I love that. Looks like this one's about to reassert its leadership from, earlier this year.
So, yeah. You're getting me bullish on Dog with Hat now. Who knew?
One I've been trading, one I've been involved in, and that I can buy on Coinbase. That looks awesome. So here you guys go, bonus. Very involved in this one. Keep building. I'm pretty big in it at this point. This is the Jasmine. This is the Jasmine. Shout out Sam for helping find this one. The base is in. We launched higher. Look at how nice this is, Spencer. Let's just forget the candles for a second, right? So I dropped the VWAP from the year-to-date highs here. You got the VWAP from the prior cycle highs coming in below, right? So look at how this coil is governed by the VWAP from the all-time highs and the lower bounds, and the VWAP from the year-to-date highs at the upper bounds. We're blasting through. This thing's making new cycle highs. This is my favorite right now. Long Jasmine. It's rock
I'll
and
be
roll.
damned.
It's rock and roll. Rock and rolling with the Jasmine. And this
Rock
is
and roll.
like
All
AI
right.
platform. Oh, smart contracts.
If you say so. Sure.
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me. That's not why I'm in it.
All right, guys, you know the drill. We'll be back on Thursday for more CRL. Email us questions at stockmarketmedia.com. We'll see you then. Smash the like. That's it. Adios.